Not everybody can be famous, but everybody can be great, because greatness is determined by service. You only need a heart full of grace and a soul generated by love. It is not enough to say we must not wage war. It is necessary to love peace and sacrifice for it. A lie cannot live. Every man must decide whether he will walk in the light of creative altruism or in the darkness of destructive selfishness. Freedom is never voluntarily given by the oppressor, it must be demanded by the oppressed. The first question which the priest and the Levite asked was, "If I stop to help this man, what will happen to me?" But the Good Samaritan reversed the question, "If I do not stop to help this man, what will happen to him?" We must develop and maintain the capacity to forgive. He who is devoid of the power to forgive is devoid of the power to love. There is some good in the worst of us and some evil in the best of us. When we discover this, we are less prone to hate our enemies. Property is intended to serve life, and no matter how much we surround it with rights and respect, it has no personal being. It is part of the earth man walks on. It is not man. An individual has not started living until he can rise above the narrow confines of his individualistic concerns to the broader concerns of all humanity. I believe that unarmed truth and unconditional love will have the final word in reality. This is why right, temporarily defeated, is stronger than evil triumphant. Those who are not looking for happiness are the most likely to find it, because those who are searching forget that the surest way to be happy is to seek happiness for others. If I cannot do great things, I can do small things in a great way. Never forget that everything Hitler did in Germany was legal. Whatever affects one directly, affects all indirectly. I can never be what I ought to be until you are what you ought to be. This is the interrelated structure of reality. Our lives begin to end the day we become silent about things that matter. Forgiveness is not an occasional act, it is a constant attitude. The more there are riots, the more repressive action will take place, and the more we face the danger of a right-wing takeover and eventually a fascist society. No person has the right to reign on your dreams. History will have to record that the greatest tragedy of this period of social transition was not the strident clamor of the bad people, but the appalling silence of the good people. Science investigates, religion interprets. Science gives man knowledge, which is power, religion gives man wisdom, which is control. Science deals mainly with facts, religion deals mainly with values. The two are not rivals. No, we are not satisfied, and we will not be satisfied until justice rolls down like waters and righteousness like a mighty stream. Capitalism does not permit an even flow of economic resources. With this system, a small privileged few are rich beyond conscience, and almost all others are doomed to be poor at some level. That's the way the system works. And since we know that the system will not change the rules, we are going to have to change the system. Take the first step in faith. You don't have to see whole staircase, just take the first step. The hope of a secure and livable world lies with disciplined nonconformists who are dedicated to justice, peace and brotherhood. A riot is the language of the unheard. 10,000 fools proclaim themselves into obscurity, while one wise man forgets himself into immortality. When you are right, you cannot be too radical. When you are wrong, you cannot be too conservative. We who engage in nonviolent direct action are not the creators of tension. We merely bring to the surface the hidden tension that is already alive. I have a dream that one day little black boys and girls will be holding hands with little white boys and girls. We are prone to judge success by the index of our salaries or the size of our automobiles rather than by the quality of our service in relationship to mankind. The soft-minded man always fears change. He feels security in the status quo, and he has an almost morbid fear of the new. For him, The greatest pain is the pain of a new idea. I submit that an individual who breaks a law that conscience tells him is unjust, and who willingly accepts the penalty of imprisonment in order to arouse the conscience of the community over its injustice, is in reality expressing the highest respect for law. We must build dikes of courage to hold back the flood of fear. Change does not roll in on the wheels of inevitability, but comes through continuous struggle. There comes a time when one must take a position that is neither safe nor politic nor popular, but he must take it because his conscience tells him it is right. If you can't fly, then run; if you can't run, then walk; if you can't walk, then crawl, but whatever you do, you have to keep moving forward. Let no man pull you so low as to hate him. Nothing in all the world is more dangerous than sincere ignorance and conscientious stupidity. It may be true that the law cannot make a man love me, but it can keep him from lynching me, and I think that's pretty important. A man who won't die for something is not fit to live. Everybody can be great, because anybody can serve. You don't have to have a college degree to serve. You don't have to make your subject and verb agree to serve. You only need a heart full of grace, a soul generated by love. Injustice anywhere is a threat to justice everywhere. The function of education is to teach one to think intensively and to think critically. Intelligence plus character, that is the goal of true education. We must learn to live together as brothers or perish together as fools. Rarely do we find men who willingly engage in hard, solid thinking. There is an almost universal quest for easy answers and half-baked solutions. Nothing pains some people more than having to think. At the center of non-violence stands the principle of love. I have a dream that my 4 little children will one day live in a nation where they will not be judged by the color of their skin, but by the content of their character. Violence as a way of achieving racial justice is both impractical and immoral. I am not unmindful of the fact that violence often brings about momentary results. Nations have frequently won their independence in battle. But in spite of temporary victories, violence never brings permanent peace. If physical death is the price that I must pay to free my white brothers and sisters from a permanent death of the spirit, then nothing can be more redemptive. Never succumb to the temptation of bitterness. Thanks for watching. If you like this videos, don't forget to subscribe, like, share and comment.